New comic book day is right around the corner again. Let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'm going to tell you which books are on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and we'll even talk about some new number ones, new series debuts that are on the radar for this week, August 21st, 2024. Gotta let you know, the pull list, by the way, is powered by Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, North Carolina. That is where I'm going to go on Wednesday to pick up all of these books. And if you're in the Raleigh area, you should do the same thing. They're in the Plantation Square Shopping Center at 6320 Capitol Boulevard. You know the one. First Watch, McDonald's, Burger King, and Fight or Flight Comics, all in the same complex. You should definitely check them out, whether it's Dan, Emily, or Max. Max! They will absolutely take care of you, and you'll be excited that you win. Anyway, that's where I'm going. You can meet me there Wednesday. But let's talk about the books that I'm excited to grab this week. There's a lot of cool books coming out, but there are none that I am more excited about than Wolverine Revenge, issue number 1. Now, this is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Greg Capullo, and we have been teased this series for a while. There was an image that leaked a while back. Greg Capullo tweeted an image and forgot to cut the title off the page, so it was obvious that he was working on a Wolverine title, and we all thought it was going to be the main ongoing Wolverine series, and that's not the case. This is going to be a mini-series. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 issues, but it's just going to be like a sort of greatest hits of Wolverine doing what he does best, and what he does best ain't nothing nice. Anyway, what I'm excited about on this book, besides the fact that Hickman's writing it and Capullo is drawing it, because honestly, that's the draw. Capullo drawing Wolverine, I gotta see that. Like, I need front row tickets for that show. But I'm also excited because this is getting a Red Band edition. Now, the Red Band thing debuted with Blood Hunt earlier this summer, and it was like a page or two extra and some more like bloody and gory content or whatever. If you want to see bloody content, you're gonna want to see it in a Wolverine book, right? So I'm going to pay the extra $1 this time around and get the Red Band version of this story. And I'm probably going to buy the regular version as well, just for comparison's sake. So if you're spending the extra $1, it's going to cost you $5.99. If not, it'll be $4.99. Either way, I'm grabbing cover A. Now, let's keep going with the Marvel Comics on the pull list, starting with Miles Morales Spider-Man Annual number 1. It's the 2024 annual. I don't know why we number annuals anymore. Anyway, the point is, this is the annual, so this will be a nice story for you to read if you are not reading Miles Morales already. Don't feel like you need to know a bunch of continuity. Let me just double check, because I'm pretty sure that Cody Ziegler is writing this issue, but I just want to be sure. And let's go to my pulls. Spider-Man Annual 1. Yes, Cody Ziegler is still writing it. This time we got a guest artist, David Baldeón. The accent is over the O, so that means the O. David Baldeón is drawing this issue. What makes me excited for this issue, besides the fact that I like this Miles Morales title, Storm is making a guest appearance. So, like, 2 of my top 5 Marvel characters in the same book. I actually like that aspect of this Miles Morales run. Like, as much as we've been interrupted by tie-ins and stuff, there's been a who's who of like sort of legacy Black heroes showing up in this title. Most notably, or most prominently, probably was Misty Knight. We've had guest appearances by Blade, and now we're going to have Storm. And each time there's an older Black hero that comes around, Miles Morales is firmly planted in the seat of student. And I just like that aspect of the run. I think that's just something that's been really well done, a sort of tip of the hat type thing that you might not notice unless somebody calls out, but it's really cool when you go back and read it. Anyway, Miles Morales Annual number 1, coming out this week. Cover price is $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And last book on the pull list this week is Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 8. Ultimate Spider-Man written by Jonathan Hickman, artwork by Marco Cacchetto, and this is the book that you've been wanting. If you're a Spider-Man fan, that's a fan of the marriage, it's a fan of high action, like, this is it. This is the Peter Parker you deserve. He's married to Mary Jane. They got kids. He becomes Spider-Man later in life. And now he's trying to balance the great power and great responsibility that he has. In this issue, apparently Kingpin is doing his best to assemble a new Sinister Six. So it's been great. Ever since that first like 4 issues, I think this series really hit a stride after issue 4. And it was honestly great out of the gate. So there you go. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 8 out this week. Cover price is $4.99. There's a reason it's like the most popular book on League of Comic Geeks. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those 3 Marvel books make up the entirety of my Marvel pull list. So if I stick to the list, those are going to cost me $16. Although if I buy an extra copy of Wolverine, they're going to cost me $21. But hey, who's counting besides me? Anyway, next up, let's skip over to the indies. And while I do that, I gotta let you know about a brand new Kickstarter that is live right now. My man Damian Becton, who you know from Worlds Away and who was just recently a guest on Comics Are Dope, the podcast, just launched a brand new Kickstarter for The Few of Far Between. It's issue number 1. It's a fantasy adventure comic. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll show you the full trailer. But let me read the synopsis for you real quick. When a tyrannical AI robot crash lands on the magical world of Far Between, a young sorceress and the prototype robot set out to stop it. So right off the bat, that reminds me of like Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Like, you know, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger as like the old and rusty model. And then you got this new and improved version of this robot that is just bent on destruction. And then you add magic and sorcery into it. And I'm like, this seems like a very interesting thing. So that's going to be cool. It's on Kickstarter right now. Links in the description down below. And like I said, stick around to the end of this video and I'll show you the full trailer. Now, let's get to the indies on my pull list this week, starting with Darkwing Duck, Justice Ducks, issue number 5. This is written by Roger Langridge with art by Carlos Sid Loro. This is the final issue of the miniseries. And just being straight up, I fell off of this series because of the delays in the publishing schedule. This book, first issue came out in January. We should have been done with this 3 months ago, but delays are delays and they happen. It's just difficult for me to keep up with monthly titles when they don't come out monthly. So I fell off. I'm excited to catch up. This is going to be in the Darkwing Duck Kickstarter hardcovers that I backed. So I'm excited to see this collected and read this whole story digested all at once because I really did like it when it first started coming out. But Darkwing Duck, Justice Ducks, issue number 5 out this week from Dynamite Entertainment. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And speaking of Dynamite Entertainment, I gotta say, they are front running for Publisher of the Year in my mind. And I swear I've said that several times before, and it just keeps being further and further true, even with the delays. Dynamite has 3 books out this week, and all 3 of them are on my pull list. Let's talk about the second one, and that is Powerpuff Girls issue number 2. Powerpuff Girls, written by Kelly Thompson, with art this time by Kelly S. Darboe, who you might remember, she did covers on the Hades, Disney Villains Hades series. I don't think I've ever seen her work on an interior of a book, but excited to check it out. This issue I'm very excited for because it features Mojo Jojo. That was a bad Mojo Jojo, but Mojo Jojo's in this issue. And like, in my opinion, he's the best Powerpuff Girls villain, like hands down. They honestly got a pretty good rogues gallery. They got the Amoeba Boys. They got him, who was like super creepy. But Mojo Jojo's at the top of my list. And then it's the Rowdy Rough Boys. But anyway, not to get too deep into Powerpuff Girls lore, this book is out this week with a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, again, from Dynamite is Thundercats issue number 7. I don't remember if I read issue 5 or 6. I really don't. But it's written by Declan Shalvey with art by Drew Moss. And I had been enjoying the series. I feel like I'm getting this confused with the Chitara miniseries that came out. So now I got to go back and brush up because I don't remember what happened in Thundercats issue 6. Cover price on this, though, is $4.99. It looks very fun. Got Wily Cat and Wily Kit just springing into action. So if that's any indication of the story inside, we're in for a fun-filled issue. Cover price on it is $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And the last book on the indie pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 95. Walking Dead Deluxe, it's zombies in color, though, with cardstock covers and extras in the back. I'm excited about it. If you haven't been grabbing this is probably not the place to grab it. But if you are following along, I feel like you would agree with me that this has been a great way to follow The Walking Dead. I have been digging in my short boxes, pulling out issues of The Walking Dead Deluxe and just thumbing through them. I just love that it's in color. And you can actually buy these digitally as well. You still have to pay per issue, but being able to read Walking Dead in color on an iPad, it's been a game-changing experience. Cover price on that's $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the indies on the pull list. As long as I stick to the list, those are going to cost me $19 this week. I tried to find a good segue for the DC section. I don't have one. So let's just talk about the DC comics on the pull list, starting with Green Lantern War Journal, issue number 12. Green Lantern War Journal has been great, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Montos, who has got to be a superstar at this point. Maybe not superstar, because who's reading this title? Like, are there enough people reading this title to really appreciate his work? I don't know, but I hope that he's a superstar in the making because his artwork has been amazing throughout this series. But Green Lantern War Journal, issue number 12. This is the final issue of the series, and I don't know where Jon Stewart's going to stand after this. I don't know when we're going to get another Jon Stewart series. I do know it appears that he's going to be in the Justice League Unlimited comic that's coming out later this year. That's part of the whole Absolute Power and Absolute Universe, whatever, era of DC. So at least we haven't seen the last of him, but I was excited about Jon Stewart having his own ongoing, and I'm sad to see it go. Cover price on this one is $3.99. Grabbing cover A. And next up on the DC pull list is Nightwing, issue 117. This is part 4 of the Fallen Grayson story arc. This is the penultimate issue of Nightwing as well. Issue 118 is the last issue of Tom Taylor's run. Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo, that is. And yeah, it's about to be it. It's about to be over. A lot of stuff is coming to an end at DC to prepare for these new jumping in points for every title. So DC is going to be exciting to watch in about 2 months. But for now, we got to wrap up all these old storylines and establish where things are going in the wake of Absolute Power. And speaking of, by the way, Nightwing, cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. But speaking of Absolute Power, we got 2 Absolute Power tie-ins this week, starting with Superman issue number 17. Superman is still recovering from the loss of his powers. He's in a different suit, the solar absorption suit, trying to help him recover as best he can. And honestly, I'm behind on Superman because I still need to read Absolute Power number 2. But anyway, this one is again special because Jamal Campbell's back on artwork, and I'm just excited anytime Jamal Campbell is drawing anything. So Superman 17, cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my pull list this week is Wonder Woman, issue number 12. It's an Absolute Power tie-in. It's written by Tom King. The art in this issue is by Tony S. Daniel. And this has nothing to do with the Sovereign storyline. This is fully in the Absolute Power event. So grab it if you're into Absolute Power. Don't grab it if you're looking to see what's going on with Wonder Woman and Tom King's ongoing. Maybe grab it if you want to complete your run. There you go. Cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the DC Comics on the pull list this week. As long as I stick to the list, those will cost me $19. And we are at a grand total of $54 this week, which does put me $4 over budget, but that's before taxes and my 10% subscriber discount over at Fight or Flight Comics. So I'll make out spending just about $50. That is until I add that extra issue of Wolverine Revenge. So I'll be over budget either way this week, but $5 here and there, it won't hurt. Will it? Maybe every day it'll hurt, but this time it's fine. Anyway, grand total $54 this week. And let's talk about some new number ones that should be on your radar. I got 3. One from DC Comics. This is Jenny Sparks, issue number 1. It's a Tom King Black Label book. Jenny Sparks apparently is a character from, is it The Authority? Or what's that other book that she's a character in? Planetary? One of those two. I don't know. I've never read either. I've not read The Authority and I've not read Planetary, which means I probably shouldn't be reading Jenny Sparks. But if you've read either of those and you want a cool, out of continuity Black Label story written by Tom King, then Jenny Sparks is probably your way to go. $4.99 on that one. Next is Predator vs. Black Panther, issue number 1, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Chris Allen. And I should not be excited about this book, or I should say, I should not be invested in this book. I have never seen a Predator movie. I've never seen an Alien movie. I have seen a Black Panther movie, and I'm a big fan of Black Panther, and that's the only reason this is on the list. Plus the fact that Chris Allen did art in the most recent Black Panther run by Evel Ewing, and I really liked his art there, his page layouts, all of it was really good. And so between that and the voice that Benjamin Percy has for like spy type characters, as evidenced in his entire X-Force and Wolverine runs, has me really, really strongly considering buying this book, even though I know that I should just wait for the trade paperback. Speaking of trade paperbacks, I got a new stack of Marvel trades in. We're going to talk about those in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. That was your teaser. But Predator versus Black Panther, issue number 1, out this week. Cover price is $5.99. And the last one that's on the radar is an indie from Alien Books. The new publisher of Valiant Comics is Archer and Armstrong, Assassin Nation. Issue number 1. It's written by Fred Van Lente with art. Who is on the art? By the way, Jeff Spokes is on the art of Jenny Sparks. And then on this Archer and Armstrong that I didn't put on the pull list, so I gotta type it in now. Archer and Armstrong, Archer and Armstrong, Archer and Armstrong, Assassin Nation, number 1. Emilio Urdinola is the artist on this book. We are marching toward a resurgence of the Valiant universe. Fred Van Lente is writing this and a couple other titles, as well as parts of the resurgence of the Valiant universe miniseries or event that's coming out. So check that out. Fred Van Lente, if you read Valiant back in 2012 when it relaunched back then, he wrote a lot of the stuff then too. So a lot of the same continuity still applies. So if you miss that Valiant, that era of Valiant, it is coming back. And Archer and Armstrong, this is like their 3rd miniseries in the last few years. So Archer and Armstrong, Assassin Nation, seems like a fun buddy superhero story. Cover price on it is $4.99 though. So those were all the new number 1s on my radar this week. A lot more new number 1s coming out. So check your local comic shop or head to Fight or Flight Comics if you're here in Raleigh, and they'll help you out to grab the rest of them. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you're excited about in the comments down below. Huge thanks to all the channel family for supporting the channel and this pull list. And I will leave you with the trailer for Damian Becton's The Few of Far Between, issue number 1. Till next time.